Shalom, saints. Shalom. Morning. I want to give a short lesson today on the parable of the wedding feast, but I wanted to start it. Too with the John 1. I want to say 11, somewhere in there, in that region. Where he says, "I came to my own. He came to his own, and they received him not. Yet everyone who receives him and believes on him, he gave the opportunity, he gave the ability to be sons of God. But the hearken on that, he came to his own, and they received him not." Why is John starting that off like that? Why is he's writing this in the within the very first 10 sentences, 10 verses or whatever of his gospel, or whoever wrote John. Also, and in the Acts 13, 46, 47, where Paul is saying, it was necessary that I've come to you first. It's necessary that we came to the Jews first. But since, we didn't, just me paraphrasing, since we didn't believe and didn't want that kind of salvation, and didn't believe enough to receive the salvation, he says, lo, we turn to the Gentiles. And then we have the parable of the wedding feast in Matthew 22. And the initial feast is, again, this is me paraphrasing, 1 through 14. Y'all go read it. But first he sent them out. They went out to all of those that were invited. This situation was invite only. Okay, it was invite only. It was invited to a particular people that were invited to this wedding, that were supposed to be there, that received the invitation to be there. Then come about, it's getting close to the wedding, and nobody's, all of those people had all kinds of excuses why they couldn't make the wedding. They were putting all kinds of things before the wedding. Had all of these things they had to do, and then he sent two of his servants out and said, go get as many as you can. Go to the highways and byways and get, anybody you can get to come to this wedding. Anybody you can call them and bring them to this wedding. But initially, there were people that this wedding was particularly for, that were invited, that did not show up, that did not want to be at that feast, that found more important things to do. And then, they go out to the highways and byways. And a lot of us take that literal as a commandment. We need to go out to the byways and byways, to the highways and byways. There's nothing wrong with that. But this is a parable. And I don't think it's there to give us that command. Not saying we shouldn't be doing that. But if we do take it that way, are we out here calling the invite only, or are we calling all people, anyone who would hear? Or are we out there doing what initially was being done and seeing that these folks didn't want to come in? And sometimes that be one of the problems why we be out there for hours and nobody, you trying to bid these people to the marriage, but they not listening. And then, people who do come up a lot of times don't be the people that we think are invited. There's also an element of the garment and not having on the proper garment. And for me, that's kind of dealing with righteousness, and dealing with someone who's defiled their garment. the defiled it with sin and so forth, and with bitterness. The bitterness will defile you. Unforgiveness. Not loving thy brother. Y'all get it. All right. That the righteousness is dealing with the garment. And the Most High purging us, our garment, and cleaning our garment through the righteousness of Christ, and through what he did on the cross. And we see a picture of that with Joshua, and how he was given a clean garment, and given a stone, a charged stone to we see that visual. He given a charged stone to clean his to purge his tongue. And I think that's kind of symbolic in the type for what we see later, especially in this particular parable about also your righteousness being as filthy rags. And of course, you want your righteousness clean and purged, and you do that through faith in Christ. But that's it, y'all. It wasn't heavy. The John 1:11, the Acts 13:46, 47, somewhere around there, and the Matthew 22. I think these all are kind of connected, and we see this build up until this point. We see it get up to this point, and then things climaxing, and we're seeing a lot of these things being a little shifting happening, and also a lot of fulfillment happening in Christ that we're missing. It's a lot of things we're missing with Christ being fulfilled, and we still, with Christ fulfilled, but we still looking for. A lot of us don't know, and I'm gonna ask y'all this: what does it mean that Christ fulfilled the law? A lot of us bring this verse out and say, well, and then a Christian will say, well, they'll say, well, you tell them, hey man, you need to keep the law. And they say, man, Christ fulfilled the law. And then we'll say, well, how did Christ fulfill the law? Did he fulfill homosexuality? Meaning you can't be a homosexual no more. And that is a good comeback, but that doesn't say what it means that he fulfilled the law. That doesn't, he said, I didn't come to destroy, I came to fulfill. Well, how did he fulfill it? What does it mean that he fulfilled the law? My scholars, my Hebrew scholars, what does it mean that Christ fulfilled the law? What does that mean? Because he said it. So, or are we saying he didn't fulfill the law? And see, we play these games to make the argument, but we still don't know what it means that he fulfilled the law. We'll play these games, hey, these hypotheticals, hey man, what did it mean? Did he fulfill it? Did he fulfill homosexuality? Did he fulfill eating pork? Did he fulfill hating that brother? How he fulfill that? No, we still got to keep that. That don't show that you haven't proven that you know what he did to fulfill the law. What does that mean? What does it mean? And are we, and keep this in context, because I already see where brothers are gonna go. Well, he fulfilled the prophets and some of the things that were written about him in the law. Now, that context is that one joke, one tittle, these are some of these ordinances. And that's why we will respond back with no homosexuality. Did he fulfill homosexuality? We don't respond back with, did he fulfill, he will be coming in riding on a donkey. That context there and how we using it is about the ordinances and the statutes and And that's how the Christian is going to come back at you and say, and that's how we respond back with that. How did they respond? How did they do that? How did he fulfill that? If this is that and that and that, you know what I'm saying? We're all talking about ordinances. But, you know, if you do believe that it's, you know, the things that were written of him, put in some of the things that you think he did. Instead of the you know, him being a suffering servant, you know, what else, you know, what else outside of, you know, what he did on the cross for us, and riding on the donkey. I just gave y'all that, but really that ain't even really what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something else about how he fulfilled the law. Y'all hit me with that. Y'all hit the comments. I'm trying to see something, see where we at with that. Pray this thing was edifying. Y'all be blessed. Shalom.